My first reaction on seeing this is, what was Anne's appeal for Henry? We know that he was absolutely besotted with her.
Anne Boleyn's face has been one of history's greatest mysteries. For centuries, portraits claimed to show her, yet none could be trusted. Some were painted long after her death, others may have been altered, and many believe her image was deliberately erased. Now, in a shocking twist, Grok AI attempts to reconstruct the portrait of Anne Boleyn, and the results shocked everyone. Reporters describe the outcome as deeply unsettling, hinting that the truth about her appearance may have been hidden all along. What did the AI find, and why are historians saying this is disturbing? The answers will stun you. The Queen Who Changed England. When people think of the Tudor dynasty, the figure of Anne Boleyn often looms larger than life. She was not born into a royal house, nor was she destined from birth to wear a crown. Yet her intelligence, charm, and ambition placed her directly at the heart of one of the greatest transformations in English history. Her story is both dazzling and tragic, a story that begins with the promise of a new future for England and ends with a sword falling on the executioner's block. Anne was born into the Boleyn family around the turn of the 16th century, a family with ambitions, but not one expected to produce a queen. Her father, Thomas Boleyn, was a skilled courtier who ensured that his daughter was well-educated and well-connected. Anne spent time in the courts of Burgundy and France, where she absorbed not only the elegance of European fashion, but also the sophistication of its culture. By the time she returned to England, she carried with her a reputation for wit, refinement, and a sharp intelligence that set her apart from other women of her age. It was these qualities that caught the attention of Henry VIII. At the time, Henry was desperate for a male heir to secure the Tudor line, and his first marriage to Catherine of Aragon had failed to provide one. When Anne entered his orbit, Henry was captivated. She was not merely another lady of the court, she was someone who challenged him, someone who refused to simply be his mistress. Anne held out for marriage, and her refusal only fueled Henry's determination to make her his queen. But that determination came at an extraordinary cost. The Pope refused to grant Henry an annulment of his marriage to Catherine, and Henry's obsession with Anne led him to take a step no English monarch had ever dared before. He broke with Rome. Out of his desire to marry Anne, Henry VIII initiated the English Reformation, creating the Church of England and asserting royal supremacy over the clergy. This single act reshaped religion, politics, and society for centuries to come. In 1533, Henry married Anne, and she was crowned queen consort. The moment should have been triumphant, but the pressures on her were immense. Her task was simple in words, yet impossibly heavy in meaning: produce a son. When Anne gave birth in September 1533, the child was not the son Henry desired, but a daughter who would one day be known as Elizabeth I. To Henry's mind, the failure to produce a male heir became the first crack in his passion for Anne, a crack that would grow wider with each passing year. Despite this, Anne was no passive figure. She was involved in religious and political affairs, supported reformist thinkers, and often influenced Henry's policies. She was charismatic, clever, and, according to many at court, dangerously outspoken. Her enemies grew quickly, and so did the whispers against her. By 1536, just 3 years after her coronation, Anne was accused of adultery, incest, and treason, charges that most modern historians consider fabricated. She was tried, condemned, and executed at the Tower of London on May 19, 1536. Her death was swift, but her memory lingered. Anne Boleyn had been the catalyst for England's greatest religious shift, the mother of one of its most legendary monarchs, and a woman whose life had changed the course of history. Yet even as her influence was undeniable, her image was not secure. Unlike many queens, there were few surviving portraits of Anne painted during her lifetime. After her fall, her likeness seems to have been deliberately erased, destroyed, or altered, leaving future generations with conflicting images and a mystery that endures to this day. And that is where the story takes a strange turn, because while her words and actions shaped history, the question of what Anne truly looked like became one of history's greatest